name is Elroy Kay, and this is my artist presentation. Um, so an artist statement is I create art to break down things that I learn into more tangible concepts for the viewer to relate to, experience a similar sequence of events, uh, to so that they can essentially see things in the same way that I did when I learned them, and then it'll create like a bond between viewer and artist, and the artist bio is also there. These are my previous works, starting with Head Brace 3, or Grandfather's Guns, which is a really important example of me using superimposition in my art. And this one talks about present versus past self. And the past self manifests in the bottom left corner as a memory floater in vision. And it touches on inheritance and where knowledge may come from. Like these guns that I'm holding were owned by my grandfather, so it's about inheritance and validity of different things that you learn, if the source matters. This one is the Incitatus triptych. This is one of the first ones I made with horses, which is a really important symbol for me. It's acrylic on canvas. It's about a yard long, and it has to do with old versus new imagery, like an old scene versus new scene. And the far left panel, the guy with the helmet, is like a mixture of this muscular guy on the right. Like it's him in the past and also him in the present. And him in the future. It's anything but him in the present. So it could be him reflecting on his life, or it could be him with potential energy about to do that action that he's doing there on the right. These are more paintings. These two go together as a diptych because they have such similar imagery. And they have to do with my old self versus new self next to each other. You can see in the bottom left corner of the bottom one, that's me with my head brace as a little kid. And then also on the top piece on the right, that's also me now and me with my head brace as a little kid. So yeah, this is more using superimposition to create a map of imagination mixed with real visual stimuli. So it's like you're seeing something and thinking of something else. This is pretty much the same concept, still exploring it. This one uses historical events. So the bottom one uses a scene from Disneyland Showtime, and then the top one uses a 1945 B-25 crash into the Empire State Building, and it uses imaginary figures to illustrate people's reaction to those things and a visual manifestation of your thoughts or knowledge. This is spontaneous generation. It has to do with old bodies that are used to past routines feeling out of place in a digital age and therefore kind of decay in the real world. And it explores where antisocial people and aspects come from and how they exist in modern society, as this thing that doesn't quite fit in. This is also more horses. This is Incitatus, another Incitatus, which is named after Caligula's horse. And this imagery came from an accumulation of different dreams I was having around the creation of them. And it has to do with societal hierarchy and difference between forced labor and willing participation, because horses are we just assume that they work for us, versus dogs are kind of willing participants to help humans. So it has to do with this mighty beast kind of works for humans, versus dogs are sort of lesser than, but still somehow willing participants in whatever humans want to do with them. This is probably the most important piece I've ever made. It's Elvis versus the electric chair. It's a triptych, and each one is about 22 by 30 inches. So it describes components of the electric chair, placing it parallel to Elvis Presley's musical timeline. And together it creates a timeline of human life through America's most prominent superstar. And also the construction of the killing machine, the electric chair, which is only really used in America. So the first panel has to do with attachments to earthly possessions and grounding materials, and also has to do with one of Elvis's first popular songs, Blue Suede Shoes. And the collage elements have to do with like earthly things and human body and just like vessel sort of items and hand and foot anatomy. And also Elvis's, like early in his career, there's some photos of him there. The second panel, which is a jumping chair, is the matrix I put it on. It has to do with more vessel, but like the mechanical vessel of the electric chair. And it references a line in Jailhouse Rock when one of the inmates dances with an empty chair. And the collage elements show crime, Elvis's stint in the military, and large-scale infrastructure / buildings. So, yeah, this one has to do with like the mechanical aspect of American society. And the third one, the satellite / mind, has to do with people looking towards the future and the electric quality of the electric chair. And it ties to Elvis in Hawaii via satellite. So that was like one of his big breaks in trying to become part of the new world, was with the satellite and Hawaii and all that stuff. And it shows computers. There's a few dead bodies. You can see the light blue one there, and religious imagery and themes of the afterlife. And obviously, once electricity gets put into the electric chair, that's when the victim is killed, right? So then they enter the like astral plane. And that's the end. Thank you. I put my website link also if you want to see it. Thank you.